Hello, Noble Knitter. It's Nancy Queen, and today I'm going to show you how to knit the garter checkerboard stitch. It's a nice stretchy stitch that will look great on both sides, and you can use it for knitting blankets, afghans, placemats, even washcloths. Let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the bell to get notified every time I post. For my swatch, I'm going to use a pair of size 11 needles and a skein of Universal Yarn Deluxe Bulky Superwash. I'll leave links to both in the description below. Now I make a slip knot and I start casting on, and this cast on is a multiple of 10 plus 5 stitches. So I'm casting on 25 stitches for my swatch. Now usually at the end of the video I show you the completed project in text, but because this is a long repeat, it's 14 rows, I'm going to give you a free printable pattern for it, and you can click right up here or check the description below to get the full pattern. Now, once you've cast on your 25 stitches, always take time to count that there are actually 25 stitches on the needle so that your count is not off when you get started. Now, don't let the fact that this is a 14 row repeat scare you, because it is only knit and purl stitches, and I promise you it's really easy. So we're going to start row 1 by knitting the first 5 stitches. Then we're going to purl the next 5 stitches, and we're going to repeat this across, knit 5, purl 5, until we reach the last 5 stitches on the needle, and we're going to end that with knit 5. Okay, now we're ready for row 2, and row 2 we are just going to purl all of the stitches across the row. We're on to row 3, and guess what? Row 3 is exactly the same as row 1. You're going to knit the first 5 stitches, then purl the next 5 stitches, and repeat that across the row. Knit 5, purl 5 until you get to the last 5 stitches on the needle, and you're going to knit those. Now we're on to row 4, and guess what? Row 4 is another easy one. You're just going to purl all the stitches across the row just as you did in row 2. Now for row 5, we're back to knits and purls. So we're going to knit the first 5 stitches, then we're going to purl the next 5 stitches and repeat that across to the last 5 stitches, and we'll knit the last 5 stitches. Now let's just take a moment to look at how nice our sections of stockinette and garter stitch are working up. You can see the blocks now. I'm sure you could have guessed it, but row 6 is a purl row. For row 7, you're going to knit 5, purl 5, and repeat that across the row to the last 5 stitches, and then knit the last 5 stitches. Now this is the last row of the first segment in our checkerboard. We'll be switching things on the next row and working the second segment. For row 8, we are going to be knitting 5 stitches, purling 5 stitches, and repeat that across to the last 5 stitches, and then knit those last 5. So what's going on here is we are working this row that we normally work on an odd row, we're working it on an even row. So it's going on the back of the work, and it's switching up that pattern. So now you'll just follow this along, but I do have another switch on the next row. Okay, we are on to row 9, and we are going to be knitting all of the stitches across the row to make our garter checkerboard. Okay, row 10 is back to our knit and purl row. So we're going to knit the first 5 stitches, then purl the next 5 stitches and repeat that across and knit the final 5 stitches. Row 11, we're going to knit all of the stitches across the row. Row 12 is our knits and purls, so we're going to knit the first 5 stitches, purl the second set of 5 stitches, and work that all the way across until we get to the last 5 stitches, and we'll knit those. Now row 13, we're going back to knitting all of the stitches across the row. Row 14 is knit 5 stitches, purl 5 stitches, and repeat that across the row to the last 5 stitches, and then knit those last 5. Okay, we've completed those first 14 rows. Let's take a look at it. You can see how our checkerboard has a combination of stockinette stitch and garter stitch blocks. Then when we turn it over, it has garter stitch and reverse stockinette stitch. You'll just keep repeating rows 1 through 14 until your project measures the desired length, bind off, and weave in the yarn ends. I create a new stitch pattern every Sunday, so be sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the bell to get notified every time I post. To see another stitch pattern, check out this video on the top left, and below it you'll see what YouTube recommends you watch next. I'll see you in the next video.